The Homicide Unit has charged a man following the discovery of human remains near a construction site in Okotoks. It's alleged the deceased, who has been tentatively identified, became involved in an altercation with his son at a residence in the 200 block of 90th Avenue in southeast Calgary. During the altercation, the 53-year-old victim was killed, and it is alleged his body transported to the construction site and dumped. Investigators are attempting to track the movements of a 2012 white Ford Focus, it's a four-door Ford Focus, with Alberta plate L as in Lima 83265. This vehicle, we believe, moved between the evening hours on Sunday, July 16th and Monday, July 17th. We're asking people, if they saw this vehicle, to call the police at 266-1234. A photo of the car matching the description is available on the City of Calgary newsroom. This is Calgary's 17th homicide of 2017. Zaineddin AL AALAK, age 21, the son of the victim, is charged with second-degree murder and committing an indignity to a body in connection with this investigation. He was arrested yesterday and will appear in Calgary Provincial Court tomorrow. The victim's name will be released once he is officially identified by the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner. We'd like to extend our condolences to his family. The CPS would also like to thank the RCMP Major Crimes Section for their collaboration and assistance in this case. Anyone who may have information that could assist with this investigation is asked to contact the police or Crime Stoppers. You may also call the Homicide Tip Line at 403-428-8877. And I'll take any questions that you may have.
How did CPS first become alerted to this situation? Was it through the RCMP, family, or how did you get involved?
Yeah, so on Monday, July 17th, the RCMP located a body on the northern outskirts of Okotoks. Whenever there's a body that's located by the RCMP in and around Calgary, as a courtesy, they always notify the CPS Homicide Unit. So we are aware that there was a body that was recovered on Monday, and really we just made note of that, not knowing if it was at that time in any way related to anything that had happened in Calgary.
And then how did you get alerted to the home in the southeast?
So we had a call. We call it a check on welfare call. We get them all the time. Somebody was concerned that somebody was missing or hadn't answered their phone in some time. So we attended to this residence in the 200 block of 90th Avenue Southeast. Once we attended there, we ended up engaging, and actually I should add, we attended there in the late afternoon of Monday, July 17th. We engaged in some investigative steps at that time, had a conversation with the accused person in this. At that time, we were able to close that particular case or that particular investigation and re-attended the following morning to ask some more questions, to connect some more dots, if you will. And it was at that time that investigators at the scene were able to start to piece together some inconsistencies in some stories. We were able to further communicate with our RCMP major crimes co-workers that there was that this disappearance that was reported on the evening of Monday, or on the afternoon of Monday, July 17th, could possibly be related to the body that they had located Monday morning.
When is it believed that the altercation and the death actually occurred? The body was found on Monday, but when is it believed that it was?
Yeah, we're really piecing that together right now. The Homicide Unit became aware of this matter yesterday at about 11 in the morning. So between 11 in the morning yesterday morning and this morning at about 9:30, we are able to arrest, interview, and charge the accused. So there's still a lot of gaps, if you will, in the investigation that investigators are tightening up really as I speak now.
In terms of the altercation, is that still a gap too? Can you say what led to that?
We've interviewed the accused. He has not been as forthcoming with information as we would like. We have our crime scenes members are on the scene right now and are conducting an examination of the scene. All I can say is this case will rely heavily on forensics, and we have some of the best in law enforcement that are doing that right now.
Are there other people inside the home?
Again, that forms part of the investigation, and I'm not prepared to get into that particular piece right now.
That home in the 200 block of 90th Avenue, did both the accused and the victim live there, or was it the accused home or the victim's home?
We believe that the residence on 90th Avenue was the accused residence, and the victim had a separate address.
How did the body become discovered? Was like people from work that saw some irregularities at their workplace, and that's how they phoned the police, or how did that come to fruition?
My understanding was it was located by a construction worker. There's some sort of construction. I haven't been to the scene, but my understanding was that it was located by a construction worker who was doing some sort of excavating or something in the area that located it.
Was there any evidence of an altercation in the home, like that maybe your officers saw and led them to keep asking questions?
That would be quite accurate. Yes, there was some signs that some signs in the residence that were certainly compelling to investigators that played a big part in this investigation.
Can you go into any more detail, especially about maybe that would give us like the method or like what was used in the homicide?
Yeah, it's too early in the investigation to get into that. Autopsy was just completed yesterday and this morning, and we're not prepared to release that at this time.
Was the accused or the home at all known to police?
To my knowledge, you have to understand, my knowledge is very broad in the sense, not really knowing the individual nuances of the investigation, is there wasn't a big history with this residence and the Calgary Police Service.
How out of place or rare is this for members of the homicide unit to be dealing with a domestic homicide involving a father and a son?
Well, unfortunately, we have seen a spike in domestic-related investigations in Calgary over the last several months. Unfortunately, there are domestics that occur all the time between a father and a son. Escalating to this degree is very rare.
Were there any weapons recovered in relation to this investigation at all?
There were weapons that were recovered.
Can you elaborate? Were guns, knives, and were they recovered at the home, or the site of the body was found, or whereabouts were they found?
Weapons were recovered at the residence, at the son's residence. We believe that's where this offense occurred, but I'm not prepared to get into specifics of what those were.
Is the accused cooperating with the police?
I'm sorry, I can't hear
The
you.
accused, is he cooperating with the police? Because he was home for 3 days and he was available.
I would suggest that the accused cooperation wasn't as much as we would have liked.
Forgive me if we already went over this detail, but are you able to say what the connection is between the car you're looking for and either the suspect or the victim?
We believe the car was associated to the accused, Mr. Al AALAK. We are one of the theories of the investigation is that car was possibly used to transport the body of the victim. Again, I talk a lot in these scrums about timelines, and this is again one of those investigative timeline issues that we're trying to address and put together, and we're very lucky in this community We often get a lot of cooperation from the community. People want to help. People want to help with these investigations, and we're really hoping that this is another example of that, where somebody has seen this vehicle and can come forward and assist us in our investigation.
You believe the vehicle belonged to the suspect?
We believe that the vehicle was associated to the suspect.
Is his loved ones or his next of kin, because he didn't live at that house, from Calgary, have they been notified? How are they doing?
As you can imagine, this is a very, very difficult time for this family. This family has Eastern European, Middle Eastern European connections, origins. There is some family in Calgary, but some of the family is also overseas. So there's time differences, there's language issues. So we're trying to do the best we can to provide them with the support that they need as a family.
What happens next? Talking to family members, witnesses, CCTV, in terms of your investigation?
Well, again, we're just this investigation was like some investigations, as you know, are very, very protracted. This investigation, like I said earlier, came into our office yesterday morning, and we have an accused person in jail facing serious charges 24 hours later. So there's a lot of catch up to do. There's a lot of, like I said, timeline work to do. We're really trying to piece this portion together, along with our partners with the RCMP, to move this investigation forward. And I can't emphasize enough the collaborative effort from both the RCMP major crimes people, the RCMP crime scenes people, CPS, major crime section and homicide unit. We got a lot of tired police officers who've been putting in a lot of hours the last week and a half or so, and I'm very proud of these of this group right now.
Will the construction site be released soon?
I didn't know it was still being held, actually.
Okay.
That's in RCMP jurisdiction. If it's being held, then it's being held by their agency, and that decision if it is still being used, it's to collapse it is a decision between investigators.
Just a quick question. Are you able to say who made the check and welfare call, or like was it a family member of the victims? Or?
All I'll say about that is it was somebody who was closely associated to the victim. In terms of getting into who exactly it was, I don't think that serves whoever called us well, and it certainly doesn't serve the community well to get into that.
But it wasn't the suspect.
I can tell you that it wasn't the suspect.
Do we have a state of how the person who found the body is doing? Like, that can obviously be a traumatic experience staying at the dead body.
Yeah, I don't have any contact, or I haven't had any contact with that person. That, again, that fell into the RCMP's jurisdiction, but I know that it is really a standard procedure for whether it's the RCMP or Calgary Police, that we always offer our victim assistance to anyone who's involved in a traumatic incident like this, and this would certainly qualify for that.
Question?
Can you confirm whether or not the accused is an MMA fighter, or does he have a mixed martial arts background?
It's the first I heard of it. Yeah.